Wow.
It's 80 over.
We are waiting for clue.
Okay, Prof. I think, yeah. Okay, Prof.
Dah ke? Okay. Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang. Selamat datang ke webinar Perniagaan Franchise siri keempat untuk tahun 2021. Webinar Perniagaan Franchise, anjuran Persatuan Franchise Malaysia bersama-sama dengan Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Hal Ehwal Pengguna. So saya mengucapkan selamat datang kepada semua peserta yang telah mendaftar. So saya mendapat maklumat kita ada around 216 ya yang berdaftar untuk webinar kita pada petang ini. Dan welcome no matter who you are franchisor, franchisee, bakal usahawan, bakal franchisee, pelajar daripada sektor kerajaan dan sebagainya. Kita sebenarnya pada hari ini akan membincangkan dengan lebih mendalam lagi ya berkaitan dengan isu ataupun topik yang amat menarik ya, dan kita dapati ramai yang mendaftar, menunjukkan isu ini merupakan satu isu yang menarik dan juga sektor yang mendapat sambutan ya, iaitu perniagaan franchise sektor pembelajaran atau dengan lebih detail lagi iaitu sektor early childhood education ya. Dan kita akan membincangkan berkaitan dengan cabaran dan peluang ya perniagaan franchise terutama sekali di era pandemik COVID-19. Dan yang paling penting bersama-sama dengan kita pada hari ini amat bertuah kerana kita ada 4 panel ya yang sangat berpengalaman ya, dan 3 adalah daripada jenama franchise yang amat terkenal. Okey. Jadi sebelum saya bermula pada hari ini, at any point of our webinar today, boleh tanya soalan. Bukan saya seorang saja yang tanya soalan. Boleh tanya soalan, tulis di Q&A ataupun yang mana yang live Facebook boleh tinggalkan message ya di komen ataupun in the chat box. So saya akan bacakan dan ajukan soalan kepada speaker-speaker kita yang hari ini akan berkongsi pengalaman mereka. Dia very own experience, dan kita juga ada daripada Naib Presiden Persatuan Franchise Malaysia ya. Jadi sebelum kita bermula dengan webinar kita hari ini, kita warm up sedikit, dan sangat penting untuk kita mengetahui berkenalan dengan lebih lanjut lagi siapa speaker kita pada petang ini ya. Jadi panel jemputan kita dan bersedia bersama-sama dengan kita pada petang ini. Yang pertama sekali saya ingin memperkenalkan Mr. Derek Yeo ya. So Derek Yeo, Naib Pengerusi Persatuan Franchise Malaysia. So Mr. Derek sangat aktif dalam bidang pembangunan perniagaan franchise semenjak 10 tahun yang lalu, dan beliau juga merupakan Naib Pengerusi Persatuan Franchise Malaysia. Beliau sering menjadi penyumbang dalam industri franchise untuk bidang latihan, seminar yang dianjurkan oleh MFA. Selain itu, beliau juga merupakan pengerusi Pameran Franchise International Malaysia, very prestigious FIM exhibitions and also conference ya. Derek telah dilantik sebagai pengerusi Nexus Productivity of Retail and Food and Beverages di bawah MPC, Malaysian Productivity Corporation. Dan melalui penglibatan dalam industri franchise, beliau banyak terlibat dalam pameran dalam dan luar negara dan menerajui banyak inisiatif dalam membantu produktiviti perniagaan kecil dan sederhana, terutamanya dalam sektor makanan and retail ya. Selain itu, Derek ya, selain daripada dia memakai topi Malaysia Franchise Association pada petang ini, beliau banyak pengalaman mengembangkan jenama franchise keluar negara lah, termasuk beberapa negara seperti Singapura, Thailand, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Oman, Jepun, India dan sebagainya. Selamat datang Mr. Derek. Apa khabar Mr. Derek?
Baik, Prof. Good to see you guys.
Kita sambil-sambil tu kita testing line ya. So Mr. Derek ya. Without fail kita bersama-sama untuk webinar seri 1, 2 dan 3, dan hari ini webinar seri 4 ya. Dengan peserta-peserta yang berlainan dan panel speaker yang berlainan. Okay, good, very good. Dan yang perkenalkan panel kita pada hari ini tak lain dan tak bukan yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Richard Ong. Kalau saya macam lag tu macam saya nampak internet connection saya, but it's not too bad, okay. Datuk Seri Dr. Richard Ong, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Smart Reader Worldwide Sdn Bhd, Datuk Sri Dr. Richard merupakan pengasas Smart Reader Worldwide Sdn Bhd dan anak syarikat kumpulannya, sangat dikenali ya di kalangan pemain industri pendidikan negara, terutamanya early childhood education. Beliau mempunyai pengalaman yang luas dan menjadikan beliau dikenali ramai di peringkat antarabangsa juga ya. Beliau memberikan ucapan di persidangan antarabangsa, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, WTO Forum Pembangunan Ekspor Dunia ya, dan seminar franchise antarabangsa yang telah memberikan impak ya selain daripada pembabitan beliau. Jadi sumbangan Datuk Sri kepada industri franchise telah menjadikan ramai individu berjaya menubuhkan perniagaan franchise pendidikan awal kanak-kanak sendiri di Malaysia maupun di luar negara. Datuk Sri turut meraih pelbagai anugerah dan pengiktirafan di dalam maupun di luar negara. Datuk Sri, kita nak tengok Datuk Sri, apa khabar Datuk Sri? Datuk Sri line okey tak? Mana Datuk Sri?
Yes, yes.
How are you Datuk Sri? Good ya?
Good.
Okay.
And fellow panelists, and thank you MFA for inviting me today to be part of the panel.
Alright, thank you Datuk. Seterusnya panel kita pada hari ini adalah Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif CIC Group of Companies, Puan Kutrin Nada Ahmad. Okay, jenama CIC ya. Kutrin Nada Ahmad memiliki ijazah Sarjana Muda Ekonomi, kepujian daripada Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia dan Sarjana Sains Komunikasi Universiti Putra Malaysia. Beliau memiliki latar belakang pengetahuan Islam yang kuat daripada ibu bapa yang merupakan lulusan dari Universiti Al-Azhar, dan beliau pernah bersekolah di Maktab Mahmud Al-Usta, salah satu sekolah utama dalam pengetahuan Islam dan Arab ya. So CIC franchise early childhood education yang berbentuk Islamik ya. Nada Ahmad merupakan pengarah urusan, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif CIC Group of Companies. Beliau memulakan kerjaya dengan menubuhkan dan menjadi pengasas ya kepada CIC dengan tagline Where Leaders Are Born ya. Very profound ya tagline pada tahun 1997. Pada tahun 2010 CIC diiktiraf sebagai franchisor Malaysia di bawah Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Hal Ehwal Pengguna. Maksudnya masa itu menang competition ya, dianugerahkan di bawah Akta Franchise 1998. Okey, ini dianugerahkan sebagai franchisor. Okey, ini dianugerahkan sebagai franchisor pada tahun 1998. Syarikat Kuas Sdn Bhd dan CIC International, beliau berjaya menguruskan sebanyak 70 cawangan termasuk franchise CIC. Beliau memainkan peranan penting dalam membentuk pendidikan awal kanak-kanak di Malaysia dan menjadi perintis dalam industri tersebut. Beliau juga menyumbang ilmu dan perkongsian beliau dan termasuk juga hari ini ya dalam bentuk forum dan seminar di Malaysia dan juga di peringkat antarabangsa. Kutrin Nada.
Ya, Assalamualaikum. Apa khabar semua? Prof, sihat ya?
Baik ya, bagus ya. Alhamdulillah, line bagus. Okey. So yang seterusnya saya nak memperkenalkan panel kita yang keempat ya. Yang berbahagia Dr. Elsie Chin, Ketua Eksekutif Cambridge English for Life. Okay. So maknanya petang ni kita ada Smart Reader, kita ada CIC, the Islamic punya konsep, and then Cambridge on the English language punya konsep ya. So saya bacakan sedikit maklumat berkaitan dengan Dr. Elsie. Dr. Elsie Chin mempunyai lebih 35 tahun pengalaman dalam pengurusan dan perundingan strategik, termasuk lebih dari 21 tahun di peringkat kepimpinan kanan, operasi, jualan, pemasaran, pembangunan perniagaan serta pembangunan kurikulum dan latihan. Sangat berpengalaman. Dalam peranan Dr. Chin sebagai Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Cambridge English for Life, beliau diberi mandat untuk membantu memeta perjalanan CEFL ya, Cambridge English for Life, untuk berkembang luar dari pengkalannya di Malaysia ke negara-negara lain di rantau Asia ya, international expansion. Dr. Chin telah memulakan menjalinkan perkongsian dengan University of Cambridge sejak 25 tahun dahulu. Perkongsian di antara Cambridge English for Life dan Cambridge, University of Cambridge, bermula dengan University of Cambridge Local Examination Syndicate, ke English to Speakers of Other Languages, ke Cambridge Language Assessment dan kini Cambridge Assessment English. Dr. Chin pernah memainkan peranan sebagai pemeriksa lisan, setiausaha tempatan dan ketua pasukan. Juga diakreditasi oleh Cambridge International Examination untuk menetapkan dan menilai kertas kursus IGSE ESL, ya. Ini bidang-bidang berkaitan dengan ini, ya, English dan sebagainya. Dalam peranan beliau sebagai master trainer untuk Cambridge International Diploma in Teaching and Learning, Dr. Chin mengajar dan melatih lebih daripada 30 kohort guru. Sebilangan besar kejaya telah dikhususkan di dalam bidang pendidikan sebagai guru, pemeriksa dan pentadbir. Sebagai guru sekolah, beliau telah berjaya memecahkan acuan pengamal kelas tradisional dengan usaha beliau untuk mengenalkan aktiviti bilik darjah dan pengalaman untuk membawa perkembangan dalam pentadbiran peperiksaan. Sebagai pentadbir, beliau telah membawa kreativiti ke dalam bidang reka bentuk kurikulum dan latihan guru. Apa khabar Dr. Elsie Chin? Very talkative.
Terima kasih Prof. Hello semua. Terima kasih kerana mengundang saya menjadi salah seorang pembentang webinar petang ini, ya. Saya lebih selesa kalau dikenali sebagai guru sebab jiwa saya memang pada pengajaran dan pembelajaran daripada saya lah.
Oh, jadi pernah menjadi guru patut dah very talkative.
Guru adalah segala-galanya, kan?
Okay. Alright, thank you so much, ya. Jadi itulah sedikit perkenalan kita dengan 4 panelis kita pada petang ini, ya. So I'm sure this 1.5 hours to 2 hours session is going to be very interesting. There will be a lot of knowledge, a lot of perkongsian, and again please feel free to ask question, and this is going to be a very good platform sebab kita bersemuka dan berharapan dan kita semua bersedia untuk berkongsi, ya. So untuk memulakan webinar kita pada petang ini, ya, kita santai-santai, Dr. Elsie, Puan Kutrin, Derek dan juga Datuk Sri. Saya nak ajukan dulu saya nak ajukan dulu soalan lah, ya. Saya rasa ini merupakan satu soalan yang memang dinanti-nantikan lah, dan memang kita tahu dalam perniagaan terlalu banyak cabaran, ya. Tidak ada perniagaan yang tidak ada cabaran, ya. So hari ini kita berkata tentang sektor pendidikan awal kanak-kanak, pendidikan, ya, early childhood education. Kita mulakan dengan Dr. Elsie lah. Dr. Elsie pun dah nampak bersedia ni. Kalau ikut pengalaman, ya, untuk Cambridge English for Life, ya, pengalaman menubuhkan syarikat dan berkembang hingga ke hari ini, ya, apakah cabaran dalam perniagaan, ya? Di luar sana kita punya partisipan ni, ini ada yang baru nak mula, ada yang memang dah ada early childhood education dan macam mana nak berkembang, ya. Jadi apakah cabaran terutama sekali dalam bidang early childhood education ni? Kalau Dr. Elsie boleh kongsikan.
Okey, boleh, saya akan cuba, tetapi bidang saya lebih kepada pengajaran dan pembelajaran bahasa Inggeris, ya, daripada early childhood. Itu bukan forte saya, itu forte Datuk Sri lah. Okey, so saya akan mengupas cabaran untuk perniagaan dalam dunia pendidikan, khususnya pengajaran bahasa, ya. Dan speciality untuk CEFL ialah of course Cambridge English, dan bukan English mana-mana, tetap Cambridge English, dan Cambridge English untuk bila-bila ialah untuk for life. It is for life, ya. Bukan hari ini belajar, esok pulangkan kepada cikgu, ya. Boleh diaplikasikan, ya. Jadi cabaran utama yang harus dipastikan selain daripada yang amat penting, soalan yang pertama ialah apakah modal saya? Okay, so sudahlah tahu modal, baru kita boleh sekarang menimbang perkara yang kedua, iaitu apakah jenis pembelajaran yang akan dilalui oleh pelajar. Bukan apa yang saya hendak mengajar kepada pelajar, tetapi apakah pelajar akan belajar hari ini. Ya, adakah yang untuk boleh meluluskan ujian di sekolah ataupun boleh digunakan dengan pemikiran sendiri. Itu yang penting. Selepas itu, apakah bidang pembelajaran yang hendak kita uruskan? Adakah robotik sains, adakah STEAM, adakah bahasa Inggeris, matematik? Itu terpulang kepada the expertise pengusaha produk itu. Yang amat penting ialah struktur dan reka bentuk. Yang pertama kita hendak tahu ialah reka bentuk itu adakah sesuatu yang boleh digunakan bukan sahaja pada segelintir pelajar ya, tetapi pada semua lapisan pelajar. Because pelajar itu berbeza. Walaupun di sekolah kita tahu ya, dalam kelas tu okey, pelajar tu semua umur 10 tahun. Tapi kalau menjalankannya sebagai satu perniagaan di dunia pendidikan, pembelajaran yang diberikan tidak seharusnya mengikuti usia pelajar. Mesti pada tahap kebolehan pelajar itu. Barulah kita boleh dirikan foundation yang kuat. Daripada foundation yang kuat, bolehlah kita buat extension, macam bina rumah boleh buat extension, boleh adakan gazebo sini, gazebo sana. Tetapi kalau foundation itu tidak kuat, dan itu tidak akan boleh menjadikan pengukuhan ya untuk pelajar-pelajar. Selain daripada itu, persekitaran pembelajaran haruslah bersifatkan kondusif. Jadi untuk seorang pengusaha bisnes, ya, kita tidak boleh semata-mata memaksimumkan penggunaan space yang ada di dalam bilik darjah supaya lebih ramai murid yang boleh kita masukkan dalam satu kelas. You bayar cikgu sekali aja kan. Jadi itu lebih baik. Tidak, sebab murid-murid dan pelajar harus diberikan undivided attention. Ya, dan susunan furniture, susunan meja itu menjadi satu bukan cabaran tetapi satu kepastian yang mesti diberi perhatian ya. So the balance, the cabaran di sini ialah balance untuk memberikan persekitaran yang kondusif dengan package silibus yang telah disediakan dan mengikut keupayaan pelajar. Then comes the question untuk pengajar. Dan pengajar, of course, ramai yang akan memohon untuk menjadi pengajar. Tetapi pengajaran itu tugas guru itu tidak bermula 15 minit sebelum masuk kelas dan habis 15 minit sebelum kelas habis. Ya. So pengajaran itu merupakan satu proses yang berterusan, bukan sahaja semasa di kelas. Itu saya rasa cabaran yang paling penting sebab pengusaha itu menjadi ketua. Kalau ketua hanya mempunyai vision bagaimana saya akan untung yang banyak, dan itu tidak akan menjadi satu vokasi yang baik untuk mana-mana pihak. Tak boleh bertahan, tak boleh berterusan.
Okay, jadi sangat menarik actually Dr. Elsie. Maksudnya Dr. You are trying to highlight cabaran untuk pengusaha di luar sana ya, kalau dalam bidang early childhood education ini. Pertama sekali lihat asas ya, apakah sebenarnya, kena faham tentang struktur dan foundation bentuk atau perniagaan yang macam mana, siapa you punya audience ya, mengikut silibus ya, sebab dia adalah bermula dari situ dahulu.
Yes.
Maknanya itu adalah cabaran.
Correct.
Cabaran, kena faham.
Apakah kompetensi framework yang hendak kita sampaikan?
Itu boleh menjadi satu cabaran sekiranya pengusaha di luar sana tidak tidak begitu well versed ya, tidak begitu jelas berkaitan dengan, dan termasuk juga pengajar. Saya rasa internet connection tak berapa bagus. Masalah saya ke masalah sebelah Dr. LC? Boleh dengar saya ke?
Ya, saya tidak dapat dengar ke semua soalan atau ulasan Prof.
Oh, internet ya.
Sekarang okey.
Okey, so maknanya tadi kita repeat semula ya. Maksudnya tadi dari segi Cambridge English for Life ni, cabaran dia pertama sekali kena tahu foundation, apakah bentuk early childhood learning education yang nak diketengahkan tu berkaitan dengan struktur, berkaitan dengan bentuk. Sebab kita tahu dalam bidang pembelajaran ni, silibus penting, struktur penting, the essence of the knowledge itu penting, dan juga tadi dikongsikan cabaran kena faham betul-betul apakah dari segi pengajar pula. So dia ada banyak perspektif yang perlu difahami dahulu sebagai cabaran ya. Sebab kalau kita lihat dalam bidang F&B, retail lain cabaran. Kalau kita lihat dalam bidang early childhood education ni, cabaran dia content tu sangat penting. Content ya. Itu perlu dikena pasti dan perlu macam unique selling proposition tu perlu diambil perhatian ya. Okey. Jelas ke tadi ulasan saya?
Yes, jelas.
Okey. Jadi seterusnya saya akan mendapatkan pandangan pula daripada Datuk Sri Richard. Datuk Sri, kalau kita lihat ada pengalaman Datuk Sri ya dalam membangunkan dan juga sekarang masih bersama Smart Reader ya. Apakah cabaran utama dalam membuka perniagaan dalam dunia pendidikan ni, terutama sekali early childhood education?
Okay, I do share the same given by Dr. LC, and what she said, something from along the lines, is very true. Education is for life. You know, it is something that we give to the kids. It remains to them for life. It's the best gift, you know, to any child, instead of material things, toys or whatever. That, you know, it will go out of shape, go out of fashion, and go out of use to the child. So when we educate a child, we're actually gifting a child, and that is for life. Now, talking about the challenges, the main challenges in starting a what you call that business and education. Of course, basically, as what also has been said by her, that it is crucial that the product that we have, you know, the contents, what is the outcome that we look at, you know, that when the kids come into our doors and by the time they leave us, you know, we have to ensure that they have achieved a certain level, that they're competent and they go off to school. We do not under-educate them, neither do we over-educate them, because over-educating a child could lead to boredom as well, all right? Because out there, I mean, we have to look at the masses as well. We are not a center where we only pick special children, geniuses or whatever, to make them into superhumans or whatever. But it's general education for everyone. Well, again, education is ever evolving. So another main challenge I would say would be updating our content, our syllabus. I mean, we have to stay abreast with whatever that's happening throughout the world. Every time we would see these new researches coming up about where, you know, the new thoughts, new ways of doing things, you know, and it is challenging. One good example is what we're experiencing now, the pandemic. We call it a new normal. It's a new thing altogether. We are all learning through it, you know, how we should do things now, how we should correct ourselves to suit whatever that's going to happen. Now, this will begin history for us. It's the first pandemic that those who are alive that we experience this, you know. There has been talk that it will come back again. So it is part of those challenges that we have, you know, in the business itself. We have to come forward, we have to design, we have to upgrade, we have to reinforce, that, and it is through us that I believe the future, the children of the children now, they are our future, and they will learn from what is happening right now. So this is one of the very important challenges that we have. Now, on the other part, obviously, to start a business, we need people who are experienced, people who have that passion, that love, that passion. Well, I have come across participants that came out to me during past conferences, and they said, I have money. What would you recommend me to do? What kind of business would it be appropriate for me? Well, I'll put it first as passion. Anything done with passion is always done right, done the best. It's like if you have a passion for cooking, you will spend time, you will try to reinvent it, you try to come up with a different taste, something different from the rest. So passion is very, very important. So this is again one of the challenges that we look at, that we want the people who are working with us to share that same passion, that love in getting the business done correctly. So, of course, management of staff and all those things, again, it's again one of the challenges that we face in setting up the business and all that. Now, talking about that, I would also like to put forward resilience. Now, in such a time where we are facing a pandemic around the world, I think resilience is very important. How to go about moving ourselves, shifting ourselves to counter what's happening around us. We have to, as I said earlier on, reinvent things. We have to do education online. We can't start a physical class at the moment, right? So these are new things, new challenges that comes about in the business itself. Now, of course, starting the business, it would mean also a proper funding, proper management, ensuring that everyone working along the same line. Now, when you have a big group of people, a big group of franchisees, it's all about management of people. They have their own thoughts, their own way of thinking. So we have to continuously guide them. We have to continuously get that back in line with the business and not get themselves getting disorganized or being led into thinking of other things. But we have seen. I mean, I won't say that everyone of the franchise business is foolproof. There's no foolproof thing in this world, right? We do see people fail. Why? Because the thoughts become divided. So it's very important. These are also challenges that we face, in doing up the business. We have to ensure that the people that come into you, they believe in your ideas, they believe in your thoughts, and they follow your system. They do not deviate from it. So these kind of challenges are very, very, very important that we have to overcome. We are also learning ourselves from the experiences. We see things, seeing people coming up with different style, techniques, and all that. So again, we continuously look at getting things organized and done in the same manner as everyone else in the franchise fraternity. It is very important here. So I think I want to take up so much of the slot time that the other panelists will have something to add on to whatever we come forward.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's okay, Dato' Sri. And then Dato' Sri mentioned about the same thing dalam perniagaan franchise, perniagaan early childhood education, content, concept, syllabus, system, and what you bring to the client is going to be very, very important. Termasuk juga yang Dato' Sri kongsi, pengajar, ada passions, itu semua penting. So itu macam merupakan satu produk dalam early childhood education. very important. Tapi macam mana pula, sebelum saya beralih kepada Puan Kutin, cabaran dari segi itu dari segi konten, tapi cabaran dari segi ekosistem itu sendiri, seperti dalam early childhood education ini, dia tak sama macam contohnya retail, di mana customer itu adalah consumer. Di sini dia ibu bapa punya expectation, dan ibu bapa tu perubahan kepada demografik expectation ini menjadi satu cabaran yang boleh menjadi panduan kepada pendengar kita pada hari ini, Datuk Seri. Pada pengalaman Datuk Seri tu, perubahan expectation pelanggan dalam early childhood education ni berubah, dan organisasi perlu adapt very quickly.
Well, I would say parents, I would think that everyone would agree with me. Everyone is very, very anxious to see that the child learns everything on the day, right? Well, I think education, as I always stress, education isn't all about reading and writing or speaking. They come in many forms, you know. Teaching a child mannerism is also educating a child, you know. Giving the child thoughts of other things in life is also education, right? Sharing, learning from others, accepting others, that's also part of education. Well, of course, we do share with parents when they enroll the kids with us, that, you know, how will the process go, what stage that they come into school, and as they progress, what will they learn along the way, outcome along the way. Right? So it is crucial that the parents and us, we should, and we have to organize sessions with parents as well. I think everybody does this. Either parents came from us, what the child has been doing on the day-to-day basis or achieving along the way, and we do share with parents what are weaknesses of the child, where they could assist when they're back home, because education isn't being left to the teacher only. Parents should be involved. Their friends should be involved. Everyone should be involved. So it is important that if the customer, if you want the customer to be satisfied with what we are doing, we got to educate the customer as well. They got to know what are we achieving right now and what's the basis of what we are doing. I think that is very crucial. You know? So again, it is part of our culture that we also check with parents. We want their feedback. So we have regular questionnaires, our customers, parents, asking them what are the things that they feel the child has improved in, or where the child needs further support, and you know, giving us some ideas what is on their mind and what is the reason behind it, you know. So from there, we could improve, and I would say that again, nothing is perfect. I can't claim we are perfect, you know. I mean, education is a continuous process, you know. We keep on learning, we keep on inputting new ideas. That's the basis why we have a research and development.
So what we agree today, Dato', that's mean in cabaran dalam early childhood education, not only that the child itself as the customer, but the parents need to be informed as well. So you have two aspect that you need to be well informed, the structure tu untuk client lah, student tadi tu, but the parents also need to be continuously informed and educate. That is one of the challenge. Without that, along the way, maybe the business is not going to be sustainable.
That's right.
Okay, so next kita move kepada Puan Hajah Kutrinada. Puan Hajah, thank you Datuk Seri. Kita will come back to you, kita bagi you rest sikit. Puan Kutrinada, 15 tahun 15 tahun bersama dengan CIC, pengalaman
22 tahun.
Oh sorry. Berapa tahun?
25 tahun.
25 tahun bersama from day one mengasaskan CIC ya. Tadi kita daripada Dr. Elsie, Datuk Sri Richard. So kalau ikut pengalaman Puan apakah cabaran ni dalam ikut pengalaman Puan sendiri? Mungkin cabaran daripada mula-mula, cabaran sekarang, just kongsikan dengan pendengar kita.
Okay, yes, Assalamualaikum and selamat tengah hari pada semua. Bercakap tentang cabaran, saya rasa tadi Datuk Sri dan Dr. Elsie pun dah cakap banyak tentang konten. Ya, of course, bila kita nak buat bisnes, sama ada business education atau apa, kita akan perlukan produk ataupun konten. Kalau dalam konteks pendidikan ni konten lah, konten yang betul-betul viable, betul-betul berfaedah untuk customer kita kan, so untuk student kita. So I'm not going to talk on the content anymore, but as on the perspective of the business pula. On the perspective of the business, bagi saya, education business is actually a service business. So when we talk about service business ni, kita punya challenge is to maintain high service, quality service at all time. So saya stress dekat at all time. So jadi kalau setengah-setengah business tu, dia punya engagement staff dengan customers is very minimal. Katalah dia beli barang, dia just spend 20 minutes dengan staff kita. Tetapi kalau education, engagement of our staff with the customers or with the parents and students tu would be long duration. So jadi kita punya challenge is to maintain, to deliver the best quality of service tu at all time. So jadi yang itu kita meaning that siapa yang nak invest on business education ni, dia perlukan bukan sahaja modal kewangan, bukan sahaja financial capital, tetapi dia perlukan human capital, means that dia perlukan ada modal insan. So dia jadi dia bukan sahaja harus kira about money and sense, tetapi about bagaimana dia nak educate the people. So dia bukan educate the students saja, dia educate the parents, educate the community. So that is I think that is a very challenge. How one entrepreneur, once when they open a education center, they have to ensure that all the team dia, all the staff are all skillful and they can deliver the best service at all time. So jadi tapi we can see that this is the challenge, tapi we can take it as an advantage also, an opportunity, because this business cannot be automated and cannot be duplicated or cannot be offered by computers.
Not the same.
Yes. So it's really relies on human being. So that is an advantage to those who have the human capital lah, yang ada boleh mengajar dan boleh mendidik, suka mendidik dan sebagainya. So that is the capital that we have. So sebagaimana yang kita tahu, normally if you want to go fast, we go alone. If you want to go far, we go together. So that is where how the franchisor or large company can help you. You know, not only to deliver the content, but also to help us to support each other on how we're going to be able to deliver the best service at all time. So I think, yeah, that another issue about, okay, I highlight about the service issue. Another issue is on the time. Education business normally is very timely. So dia ada academic term ataupun some of the education providers, dia based on school holidays, season, so dia very timely. So kalau kita buat program ke apa, we have to really careful on the time, the right time that we are going to offer on certain packages. Jadi that needs experience and that needs knowledge. So jadi bila kita buat business education, meaning that when we want to start it up, we have to have the knowledge. Most of the entrepreneur too, they come with no knowledge on the details part, and it turned up like after some while they would fail. So yeah, I think
Yes.
that is an introduction.
Puan Kutrin, it's very interesting apa yang dikongsikan ya. Another perspektif yang lain berkaitan dengan servis. Yes. Kalau kita lihat macam servis ni memang education dia macam high contact service kita namakan. High contact service bermakna the delivery process tu being witnessed. Dia open kan, dia engagement all the time ya. Service dia macam high contact service or low contact service. High contact service ni di mana your customer is there to watch the delivery process ya. Okay?
Yes.
Dengan kalau macam beli barang ya, ada yang back office, ada yang front office ya. Ini kira macam the process is there. Dan juga berkaitan dengan according to the agreed time. Nak tak nak apa masalah mesti kena settlekan within the agreed semester ke trimester ke kan. Itu lagi cabaran yang memang perlukan knowledge ya.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Alright. So ada apa lagi nak tambah Puan Putrin?
I think kalau kita nak siapa yang nak membuka bisnes, especially on education ni ataupun mana-mana bisnes, definitely kita kena buat planning, kena buat working paper, kena buat test the product, and then kan, so test all those content semua yang kita nak buat. So kalau kita ambil yang franchise or we join a franchise scheme ni, so we can skip that part. Because we already have the proven system yang being done by the franchisor.
Kalau saya nak dapatkan sedikit pandangan daripada Puan Kutrin berkaitan dengan cabaran berkaitan dengan competition ataupun the competitiveness of the industry ni macam mana? Adakah ia jadi satu cabaran atau ianya sebenarnya satu peluang?
Bagi saya memang bisnes ni memang sangat kompetitif sebab ianya low entry juga, especially talking about early childhood lah. Low entry ni easy lah. Everyone think that they can open a childhood center, they can open a kindergarten for example. Tapi dia punya success rate is quite failure rate is quite high. Jadi banyak orang masuk, easy entry, tapi nak maintain the business like how we maintain our business CIC, and I believe smart readers pun kita dah almost 25 years. So yeah, it's not easy lah, means that it's not easy, it's very competitive, tapi it is very if you know how, then it's easy because the customer base a lot, you know, after the awareness, also this urbanization, we believe that our people had already had the awareness to give the better opportunity to the children.
So meaning in terms of market tu tidak ada masalah ya, because the awareness level, parents are always want to give the best for their children ya. Okay. Okay, nanti kita come back to Puan Kutrin. So kita nak beralih kepada, thank you Puan, kita beralih ke soalan seterusnya ya. So sebagaimana yang kita tahu tadi kita bercerita tentang cabaran utama berkaitan dengan dunia pendidikan. Now apakah faedahnya perniagaan franchise itu dan kenapa kita perlu beralih ciri-ciri franchise itu menyebabkan early childhood learning education ni menjadi lebih resilient for example, dan juga apakah peluang perniagaan sektor franchise musim pandemik, kerana kita tahu bahawa pandemik ini telah bukan sahaja all sector are affected kan, all sector are affected. Jadi apakah peluang daripada pengalaman ya sektor pendidikan early childhood learning education musim-musim pandemik ni, dan bagaimana actually franchise system itu membantu. So saya minta Dr. Alice dululah. Tak sabar Dr. Alice nak bagi pandangan Doktor. So cabaran ataupun peluang perniagaan franchise dalam pandemik, bagaimana peluang perniagaan franchise dan bagaimana sistem franchise membantu untuk perniagaan sektor pendidikan early childhood education ini terus berkembang. Boleh kongsikan?
Okay. pada awalnya sebelum saya start Cambridge English for Life, saya pilih bidang pendidikan sebab saya rasa bidang pendidikan itu satu bidang yang boleh resist recession, yang recession proof. Okay, tapi sejak bulan Mac lalu, saya telah dibuktikan bahawa bidang pendidikan itu bukan pandemic proof. Lagi satu cabaran untuk kita semua. Ya. Okay. So then pada pendapat saya, sektor pendidikan boleh dikatakan terselamat juga sebab pengajaran masih harus dijalankan, tidak boleh berhenti walaupun di mana-mana. Ya, dan pengusaha harus lebih agile. Dan overnight kita harus keluarkan silibus untuk menjalankan pengajaran secara maya atau online. And you find all staff, I think Putran, Datuk Sri will agree, all staff bukan sahaja hands on, overnight sampai 2 jam aja dapat tidur. Everybody overnight, because parents yang sudah menggelabah. Semua have to stay at home. And then at that time kan, cabaran yang paling penting ialah bukan di semua rumah, di semua keluarga mempunyai device untuk setiap seorang anak. Malah ada yang harus share. Tetapi kelas-kelas dijalankan pada masa yang sama. And then parents pula bekerja di rumah, working from home, guna device yang sama. Itu ialah cabaran yang paling penting. Dan of course dengan stimulus yang dapat daripada kerajaan, and then a lot of other facilities yang I would say individual sekolah yang berikan kepada pelajar, dan untuk pengusaha franchise yang secara swasta ini memanglah kita menyediakan laptop untuk digunakan oleh tenaga pengajar. So not too bad. Tetapi masalahnya ialah platform yang mana? Berapa lama jam? Face to face 2 jam tak apa. But now, kalau online you cannot do 2 jam straight. Itu again, because of the pandemic. And then kalau dia anak muda, parents kena duduk bersama. Dan murid suka sebab mereka bukan nak belajar, nak tunjuk kawan kan, di mana semua patung mereka tahu.
Bilik dia.
Strategic dia line up kat belakang tu. So they very happy. So and then attention span budak-budak ya. Now walaupun ada gangguan pada proses pembelajaran yang formal yang dijalankan di sekolah, kian lama tu sudah menjadi bahagian daripada hidup kita kan. Bangun pagi, berus gigi, pergi sekolah kan. Lepas tu balik sekolah. Tapi sekarang pendidikan harus dijalankan di rumah. Ya. Saya rasa pada masa ini ramai ibu bapa telah cuba mengajar anak-anak sendiri. Okay. Dan for the first time mereka betul-betul memahami bahawa tugas guru itu bukan senang. Sebab susah kita nak mengajar anak kita sendiri. Yeah. Especially yang kalau anak-anak sudah biasa dengan cara guru mengajar di sekolah atau di kindi, di mana-mana. Bila balik ke rumah, bila diuji oleh ibu bapa atau siapa-siapa, cara mengajar tu dan cara soalan ditanyakan, budak-budak kita tu tidak akan menjawab. Sebab cara dia lain. Ataupun, especially in CFL punya case, our teachers teach very differently. The way they speak, they're different. So you get parents who have never had any experience teaching their own children, and then out of the blues, yeah, especially when bahasa Inggeris bukan bahasa signifikan di rumah, yeah, out of the blues, they decided to use English to teach their children and ask questions. The children will not answer because that's not the way my teacher speaks to me. So, adakah cara saya menjawab ibu bapa saya itu akan memalukannya ataupun akan mendatangkan satu konfrontasi yang tidak sengaja? So, children will choose, to be quiet. They're quite smart and very emotional, right?
So, Dr. Alice, So meaning that you are saying dalam musim pandemik apa yang telah berlaku ya, although starting March 2020 kita ada hiccup sedikit, but now we pick up very fast, as you mentioned that education need to progress, perlu diteruskan. So maknanya memang ada opportunity dan peluang musim pandemik untuk perniagaan early childhood education berkembang ya.
Yes, but kena proaktif.
Kena proaktif.
Kita cannot sit back and hope for things to get better sebelum kita mencuba sesuatu.
Okay, so in that case, bagaimana kalau ikut pengalaman Cambridge sendiri bahawa memang ada banyak peluang, so bagaimana konsep perniagaan franchise untuk Cambridge English for Life, konsep perniagaan franchise membantu dalam menangani pandemic, so business progress as usual, sistem franchise itu sendiri.
Bahan pengajaran harus diperbaharui. Okay. Kena revamp. We have to revamp. That's why my staff sometimes only 2 hours sleep.
So bila franchise tu maknanya franchisor akan buat dan dia akan benefit the franchise lah. Okay.
Kita upload and then kita buat online coaching for the teachers. Yeah. And sometimes teachers do, you know, not everyone has access to full internet, because especially kalau work from home too, then you know our internet rate bukan murah ya. So that is another issue. Dia boleh pergi ke sekolah dan menggunakan facility di pusat atau di sekolah, itu okay because the school yang akan tanggung. So kita pun faham because they are staff, and then ada juga yang perlu bantuan dari beberapa segi, ya. And bila dihadapi dengan krisis, di situlah opportunity-nya. Adalah satu peluang. Okay, dan that's why you have a lot of publishers semua akan akan sedia membantu dan support. So the whole system sangat collaborative and very supportive.
So the message that we are sending is that franchise business itu, konsep perniagaan franchise itu boleh membantu ya franchisee
compared to yang standalone.
Compared to the standalone ya, very good. Sebenarnya kita ada satu soalan ni. Apakah pandangan Dr. Alice berkaitan saya pergi pandangan point of view sekarang ni Cambridge English ada di Sabah ke?
Yes, ada di Kota Kinabalu, di Kuching.
So di Sabah ni memang ada potential lah untuk industri on early education. Apa pandangan Dr.
Yes, of course. Di mana-mana education industry like Kutrin, Puan Hajah dah memberi pandangan tadi, the opportunities ada. Cuma passion dan komitmen kita sahaja yang menjadi halangan. And then of course the knowledge. But kalau sedia ada satu franchise yang boleh kita menjadi bahagian ahli keluarga, we join. Rather than because experience orang dah ada. Okay, so it saves us a lot of time.
Okay, itu pandangan Dr. Alice ya.
I feel because on your own, bukan sahaja you open a center, you find a corner house, you start your kindy, 8 o'clock parents come in. No, what are you doing about child protection and child safety? What are you doing about children with allergies? How do you control that? But if you go with someone yang ada pengalaman, yang ada experience, that is why you pay a franchise fee. You pay for the experience. You pay for the knowledge. You pay for the mistakes that we have all encountered. You pay for the agony, the pain that we have gone through. See, right?
Yes. Yes.
And don't think
okay.
Take all the money. No, we save you from the problem. From the agony. You see, so we are sharing with you a product. We're sharing with you something we took years. I've been in this industry for 35 years. Cambridge English for Life has been around for 20 years, you see. So bukan calang-calang brand lah, I would say. We have put in a lot of
Yeah,
blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah, it is an established brand that is why it is sustainable until now. Yeah. Okay, thank you. At least pandangan. Puan Kutrin, bagaimana pula pandangan CIC sama ada dalam keadaan pandemik ni, apakah peluang franchise musim pandemik ni? Kita tahu dalam keadaan pandemik macam-macam dugaan yang telah dilalui dan bagaimana konsep perniagaan franchise ikut pengalaman CIC sendiri membantu untuk terus resilience dan terus dapat menghadapi momen-momen yang agak kritikal ini.
Pandemik ni tak payah cakap lah. So it's really panggil lifetime experience lah, century experience lah kan. So jadi alhamdulillah kalau konteks CIC tu alhamdulillah actually before pandemic lagi I've been talking about online classes. So I train already. I don't know, I see the importance. So I train my staff already and I did the campaign for them to do the online education, online classes. So when tiba-tiba berlaku COVID, so I think kita adjust very smoothly and we adjust fast. And alhamdulillah we deliver our services, our classes to efficiently and satisfied our customers very well. Cuma the challenge during pandemic ni is on the collection. Where our parents are all satisfied, but some of them lose the job, so jadi collection tu quite a challenge lah, because I would say that almost our sales almost our collection, it's not our sale, our collection drops because of parents starts to feel the impact. Tapi bercakap tentang peluang perniagaan dalam musim pandemik ni, I would say that pandemic ni dia punya long term effect tu memang panjang lah. Dia akan effect panjang. Dia akan mengubah cara kita belajar ataupun kanak-kanak belajar. And then kita boleh lihat banyak lagi lesson, courses atau disiplin baru yang keluar selepas norma baru ni. Because we need more soft skills. We know that our student young children nowadays ni dia punya attention span is very short. So we have to facilitate their learning. So meaning that we don't want them to be in the lost generation. So meaning that memang perlu. Memang perlu, pendidikan sangat perlu, tak kisahlah whether the budget is tight or not, affected by pandemic ke apa ke, budget education sangat perlu. So meaning that potensi business untuk education during pandemic or after pandemic, post pandemic tu memang sangat tinggi. Cuma bercakap tentang business, kita kena faham business is about having the customers. So jadi customers tu ada ke tak? Jadi dalam basically memang customers education for education business dia punya base memang besar. Cuma macam mana kita nak penetrate the market. Jadi kalau bercakap tentang franchise, I would put in a simple abbreviation. Normally when I talk, I would talk on 6 things. STIFA. STIFA is my abbreviation I did for myself. STIFA means S is starting up a business. T means training. I inventory. And B is on the business support. And F on financing, and A on the business appreciation. So I will go one by one if I have time.
Yeah, proceed. Yeah, it's a very useful knowledge for our entrepreneurs out there. Yeah.
Yes, STIFA. Yeah. Okay. S is starting up. So like I said in the previous slot just now. Kita nak start up a business ni, it takes us a lot of things, and then sometimes kita tak tahu so many things. So jadi at the beginning, starting up tu is quite a challenge because we need to do the working plan ataupun working papers in detail, but with a lack of knowledge. And then kita kena conduct market research, kita kena create viable products, viable content kan. And then kita kena test dulu market, and kita kena tahu whether market suka ataupun aware tak tentang keperluan produk tu kan, especially on education lah. Contoh macam what I've been doing in CIC, contohnya kita introduce new maths. New maths, our new maths tu is on logics. Definitely dia bukan just numbers. It's about logic, how we train our student on logical thinking. Kan? Tetapi market mungkin tak ready on that. Although in certain countries, market menerimanya dengan baik. So jadi kita perlu ada research, kita perlu test the market. Jadi it's not easy. Jadi kalau kita beli franchise, bahagian starting up ni, bahagian S ni, starting up ni, the major part tu dah being done by the franchisor. Okay, so number 2 is on training program. So what we have been doing all these years, Dr. Elsie kata tadi 30 years, 20 years, what we have been doing. So what we did is training. What we did was the training kan. So this training program helps the new entrepreneurs to start right away the business in a correct way. Without the needs to go through our failures. Kan, okay, training. Number 3, why we franchise is very important is on the inventory. Where normally the franchisor will buy large of inventories, so they can get the best price, and the franchisee maybe need not to keep those inventory at their own cost. Kan, so jadi kat sini inventory helps on how the franchisee can manage their stocks, can manage their costs. Yeah, okay, and then business support. Business support. So I'm not talking on the content only, meaning that it's not about teaching saja. It's about how we're going to maneuver our business. Kan, so jadi we need business knowledge. And we need help from our franchisor to do the branding. Maybe franchisor help also on the market analysis, on the strategy, on the campaign, and on sales forecasting. And some franchisors sometimes would advise on the account status of the franchisee as well. So not only the teaching content, but also on how that the franchisor can give the business supports. Cuma tak boleh lah, setengah franchisee sometimes dia orang expect franchisor tolong in the sense that dia tak payah buat apa-apa. Misal dia tak payah buat marketing apa, dan dia tak payah train the staff, dia tak payah buat apa-apa, they just stay and collect the money. So some franchisee think that way, tapi what I mean is that the franchisor can do the business supports and can do all those things yang training program, inventory, help on the inventory. Tetapi at the same time, franchisee has to play their roles as well as the entrepreneur. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 is on financing, where it's easier to get the financing when you use the established brand. Right, so easier to get the financing, and although sometimes opening a franchise one could be a little bit costly than opening our own brand, kata for example on our own individual brand. Tapi easy to get the financing, and the last advantage on opening a franchise is that the business can appreciate. You know, although katalah you spend 200,000, for example, to open CIC. Contohnya, Alhamdulillah CIC had been in the business for 25 years, for example. So after 25 years, your business appreciate. means that your business appreciate, because maybe you start at 200,000, but after 25 years your business to keep growing and dia value lebih. Tapi compared to kalau you buat business you sendiri, katalah tadika apa-apa, you buat sendiri, you punya brand, and maybe after 5 years you cannot do the business, you want to sell the business, that business do not appreciate. Instead dia tak jadi national brand, so dia tak boleh appreciate, so you cannot sell at appreciate value kan. So I would say that peluang franchise during pandemic ni definitely ada, sebab memang kita perlukan education in all aspects, dan franchise is the best way.
Okey, satu perkongsian yang amat menarik daripada Puan Kutrin kita tadi kita kata okey, apa-apa business pun start dengan the customer wants and needs. So of course bila kita berkata tentang pendidikan memang ada needs ya. Saya nak teruskan kepada yang ini, pertanyaan daripada kita punya audience ya, very good question ya. Sebab kita sedang membincangkan tentang pandemik, so sebagaimana yang kita tahu, apabila berlakunya pandemik kan, corak penyampaian itu kan perlu kadang-kadang ada sedikit flexibility ya, berubah. Adakah itu berlaku dan adakah franchise ni, industri franchise kekal relevan untuk early childhood learning education, sebab mungkin memerlukan flexibility yang terlalu tinggi dari segi penyampaian tadi tu. Sebab kita tahu franchise kan kena ada. So apa pengalaman, apa pandangan daripada Puan Kutrin?
Okey, saya daripada awal lagi, kalau kita bercakap tentang CIC, kita tak, sebagai franchisor, kita tak control the delivery. I mean, cara penyampaian cikgu tu of course kita boleh train. Kita boleh train, tetapi kita tak boleh control. That's why saya kata this is not the business that automated ataupun is on macam robot ke. Dia memang perlukan skill seorang guru tu juga untuk deliver. Tetapi what we can control is on the content. Means that kalau ada content, kita clear on what content that we want to deliver. So that is very important. Cuma how the creativity and the flexibility yang teachers nak buat tu, it depends on them, and it depends on the suitability of the student. Tapi definitely kita akan guide lah. Misalnya kita akan guide. They are being guided also by the aim and by the lessons plan kan. They being guided. So dia lebih clear lah apa yang dia akan capai at the end of the day. Tapi cara probably mesti ada flexibility. Yes. And saya lihat cikgu-cikgu saya tu memang diorang bersungguh-sungguh lah. Means that sometimes kalau perlu mereka bekerja di luar masa, kerja malam ke, contact student during nights because of the parents do not provide the device in the daytime kan, kata parents kena work from home, so parents use the device in the daytime, so in the night yang anak boleh guna device, so during night tu cikgu willing mengajar juga. Sebab nak compliment ataupun still nak serve the students. So alhamdulillah, I think that is very great lah.
Thank you for your sharing, Puan Kutrin. Now I go to Datuk Sri. Datuk Sri, apa pandangan Datuk Sri berkaitan dengan peluang perniagaan franchise sektor pendidikan musim pandemik ya Datuk Sri, dan bagaimana kelebihan sistem yang ada pada smart reader ini membantu business to be sustainable. Pandangan Datuk Sri.
Well, I would say I think everyone know that education is very, very important. It is part of our lives where we learn things and we grow into. Now, basically, we also notice that there is a slump in the, what they call quality of children. You could see that because of them not going to school, that they they have not, I mean, you could see the quality has deteriorated to some extent. Yeah? What some more changes that we notice are, when the schools, there was a short period of time where schools are allowed to open, and when the kids come back, you could notice a difference in them. They aren't like before, like they're so happy, they're so eloquent, and they're so confident in whatever they say. Now, this is all because of they have in some way a drop in education itself. So as far as I see it, education is a need, a very important need for everyone. So much so that I think our government has also noticed that setback and has been giving priority for schools and all that to open. Unfortunately, the numbers infected grew higher and higher, and we have to stop everything. Hopefully, this thing will curb the numbers of positive COVID infected people, and we could restart it again. Now, again, the pandemic has caused a lot of people to lose job, out of job, or people who have done other businesses, especially people in the F&B business. Now, it is very important that we go back into something. We need to survive too. We need what we call a means of helping to pick up from where we left off. So, and looking at it, actually, education franchise is an easier entry point as compared to most other franchise, because if you look at it, I think the paid-up capital or the startup capital is much lower than most franchise. Especially, I think in the F&B business, it's quite high for you to do up the renovation work and everything. And education will always be there. People have experienced it, and they know that the children that are going through the system will always want to come back into the system. So it's actually a surer way of actually a better opportunity than most other things that we look at. Now, as a matter of fact, during this period, the pandemic period, we have in fact signed up a couple of franchise. How do we do it? We actually have to conduct the interview online, and once they're prepared, they're ready, we check out the credentials and all that, and they are ready for it. We conduct the training online as well. Yeah. So we do everything online instead of doing face to face. Then even the agreement signed and all that, is being couriered to them, and we use the medium such as Zoom or whatever that we signed it online together. So that is also a way that we have to do changes to help other people continue with the business. Now, I could say that doesn't mean that you start a franchise now that you could not start business. There's no such thing. Not that I'm telling people out there that now we are doing illegal. No. Now, it has been approved that schools that provide services to frontliners, they're actually allowed to operate. So what happens is that if you have parents and all that are frontliners and they need to send the children to schools, they can actually send to these schools or to our schools, we accept frontliners. And we actually, in our way of helping frontliners, we actually offered them some discounted rates, that's our way of appreciating what they are doing as well. It's not so much of trying to pull them in, getting the business or whatever, but we felt that we owe them something in return for whatever that they've sacrificed. Now, again, the other fact that we ponder is that when you start a business during this time, the highest expense in any business is still rental. And there are plenty property right now out there to be offered for rental and at a much cheaper rate as well. Well, again, as I said that once the business sector is allowed to operate, we could see a surge, just like when the government has allowed what you call F&B to start operating. I believe Derek could attest to that. Suddenly you see a lot of people walking into restaurants, dining in, and all those things. They miss the kind of things, the activities. In the same way, I would say that once the pandemic or the SOP allows us to operate, you could see them walking back into school again, because the children are restless. How long can they stay in the house? If you have a child in the house, running a house, I think not only the children are restless, you would feel very troublesome. You can't do your work. How do you work at home when you have kids running in the house? You can't. You have to tend to them. You agree, right? So, parents are also very eager to see to it that the kids should be going back to school again. At least they could get the chores in the house done, and they could do their office work or whatever in the house. Otherwise, if a child's running all about, screaming in the house, you just couldn't concentrate at all. Right? So now, as I said this, I put it that education is still something that very much sought after, and especially, I mean, if there are centers that are also offering additional tutorial and all that, I think the young children out there needed that very badly. They have actually moved backwards instead of forward, yes, I mean, we can talk of using the internet or whatever. I mean, look at it today. All of us are on Wi-Fi internet, yet we have problems, right? We have issues like Slack signals, and sometimes we can't hear each other. So that's the problem that we face, The kids cannot be staying home all this while, So as part of it, if we are able to educate our franchisees and the people who are doing our business, that they should be resilient. You should go through it. There are areas that we can still work through, we can still go through, and obviously, I mean, there are many of these grants and all those things that the government are putting forward to help people tide over. So take the opportunity. Get into this, tide yourself over, be resilient, and when we get started again, you will see it flourish. That's how we look at it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your insight, Datuk Sri. So we have heard from all speakers just now that peluang perniagaan franchise dalam sektor early childhood learning education ni memang akan flourish lah, dan peluang memang ada, dengan especially with the support system the franchise itu sendiri, are very positive, and because of the franchise system, the brand, the structure, the content, so those are all the strength that is possible for the business to sustain. So now we go back to perspective from Persatuan Franchise Malaysia. Mr. Derek, tadi we have heard from the speakers berkaitan dengan peluang perniagaan franchise. So pada pandangan Mr. Derek, from perspektif of Persatuan Franchise Malaysia, untuk pendengar di luar sana, peluang ada. Bagaimanakah mereka sekiranya mereka ingin memulakan perniagaan dalam industri franchise, early childhood education, apakah yang mereka perlu lakukan terlebih dahulu? Dan ada juga kita dengar bahawa sektor pendidikan ni lebih mudah daripada sektor-sektor lain. Jadi apa pandangan Mr. Derek?
Okay, can you hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think we have a very interesting session today. Sangat-sangat teruja dengan semua pendapat orang yang sangat berpengalaman kat sini, So I think mereka, all these Datuk, Sri, Dr. and Puan sudah cover most of the points that I want to talk about just now. Basically pengalaman 3 brand ni hanya bukan hanya dari segi pengalaman berapa tahun, tetapi dari segi falsafah mereka ya. Kalau kita nak menjalankan sesuatu perniagaan baru, kita harus mempunyai passion ataupun kehendak itulah ya. Sebab apa yang dikatakan dari puan tadi, selain daripada capital, financial capital, human capital is important, and then commitment. Saya rasa peluang pendidikan, sektor pendidikan ini ataupun sektor-sektor lain sama ada selepas pandemik, post pandemik ataupun semasa pandemik ni semuanya cerah. Ia bergantung kepada cara kita nak mendekati bisnes tersebut lah ya. Sebab kita akan tahu pandemik ni mungkin berlarutan panjang dan mungkin menjadi flu biasa, new normal ya. So kita tak boleh tunggu. Tadi sebelum kita start sesi ini, kita dengan panelis ada berbincang sedikit ya. Kita kata kita tak boleh tunggu untuk pandemik ini reda. Benda ni takkan reda secepat mungkin kan. So kita kena plan ahead. So dalam community yang kita ada hari ini dalam Facebook ataupun dalam sesi Zoom ini, saya rasa kita mempunyai golongan daripada franchisor yang ingin menjadi franchisor atau become a brand owner dan ada juga yang ingin menceburi bidang ini, tak tahu dia nak ambil franchise ke, dia nak beli franchise ke ataupun dia buat brand sendiri. So saya rasa kedua-dua pandangan ini boleh diceburi ya, tetapi setiap brand kita mempunyai selection criteria kita. Kita mencari franchisee dan mereka juga mencari franchisor. So that's actually two ways of communication to validate kan. So kalau hari ini kita nak bercakap tentang macam mana kita nak memilih, itu mengambil masa ya. So dari segi persatuan franchise, kita mempunyai kursus-kursus untuk bakal franchisee atau bakal franchisor untuk mereka attend. Kita mempunyai kursus asas pembangunan franchise, kita mempunyai international franchise management, dan kita juga mempunyai kursus kalau kamu sudah menjadi franchisor baru, bagaimana untuk grow your franchise ya. So inilah topik-topik yang kita ada di Persatuan Franchise untuk semua yang ingin menceburi bidang ini. So franchise, tadi ada juga soalan yang mengatakan adakah franchise system mungkin relevan atau tidak relevan pada masa akan datang. Saya rasa setiap cabaran tu ataupun setiap keadaan pandemic ke recession, it will be always relevant if you are getting ready. So a lot of times in big organisation, kita bercakap kan, department training department in any big organisation is always the one that is being shelved ataupun tidak dipandang begitu penting. Tetapi pada masa sekarang yang semua orang menunggu keadaan lebih baik, I think education, training, coaching is very important, especially when you are educating kids menjadi tulang belakang negara ataupun rumah tangga seseorang tu. So I think that is something that you should be investing. Sustainable in this business, any business will be sustainable if you have a solid plan. So untuk mereka yang ingin menceburi dalam bidang education, saya rasa satu daripada kriteria untuk mendapatkan lesen franchise ialah certificate license, ialah ia mempunyai 3 tahun pengalaman ataupun audited account yang okey daripada Kementerian kriteria di sana. So saya rasa untuk mempercepatkan penceburi your involvement dalam bidang ini, saya rasa semua brand yang mempunyai lesen franchise adalah proven system ya, baru mereka dapat diberikan pelesenan tersebut. So saya rasa ini adalah pendekatan yang lebih cepat kalau kita nak bandingkan kedua-dua pendekatan, sama ada untuk membina brand sendiri ataupun menceburi sebagai bidang franchisee, sebagai franchisee. Ya, so itu pandangan saya.
Mr. Derek, kalau kita lihat kepada statistik pendaftaran perniagaan franchise di KPDN HEP ya, 24% daripada pendaftaran adalah dalam early childhood education ya. 24% ni kira satu angka yang besar, almost a quarter ya. Jadi menunjukkan sambutan tu sangat bagus. 24% tu satu nombor yang besar untuk early childhood education. Jadi kalau boleh kongsikan mengikut pengalaman ya bersama dengan Persatuan Franchise Malaysia, ada tak cabaran-cabaran utama untuk franchisor yang baru bawah 3 tahun? Ada kelainan tak dari segi cabaran mereka?
Saya rasa kebanyakan franchisor yang baru I think basically mereka sudah mempunyai 3 tahun berpengalaman lah ya, sebab itu ada kriteria yang utama. Saya rasa apa yang pengalaman apa cabaran mereka adalah untuk start to recruit franchisee mereka. Ya, itu adalah satu cabaran utama, dan bagaimana mereka harus mempertahankan brand mereka ataupun sangat berbangga dengan brand sendiri. Saya rasa setiap brand mempunyai keunikannya sendiri ya, ada unik USP sendiri. So bagaimana kita nak menggalakkan brand tersebut berkembang adalah menerusi banyak education awareness program. Dia boleh mendapatkan banyak perkembangan dari segi berinteraksi, engagement dengan brand-brand lain. Sebab dalam musim pandemik ni kalau kita nampakkan semua sektor sangat erat perhubungan mereka dijalinkan semasa pandemik ini, kerana mereka, saya rasa itu bukan satu persaingan lagi ya, itu satu sokongan untuk setiap brand jenama untuk bersama menghadapi keadaan sekarang. So saya rasa cabarannya kalau brand baru ialah untuk sustainable in the market, relevant in the market ya. Saya rasa kalau nak membuat brand baru kena buat banyak market research. Terlalu banyak sektor segmen yang boleh diperbaharui, sama ada dari segi kids cooking class, kids whatever that is not really common in the market. Yeah, so there's a lot of potential for the kids to learn. I think robotic is there, but then probably not so well known yet. So robotic classes are there. So there are many angles that you can look at.
Okay, saya actually tertarik dengan pandangan Mr. Derek berkaitan dengan untuk mendapatkan franchisee ya, untuk terutamanya franchisor yang baru di bawah 3 tahun. Of course mereka excited ya, baru nak start, ada franchisee kan, maksudnya span of experience mereka bersama dengan franchisee ni taklah sebanyak company yang dah 10 tahun, 15 tahun, mungkin bermacam-macam type of relationship they experience with their franchisee. Yang ini macam baru nak start, ada franchisee macam baru nak ada anak lah, macam something like that ya. Jadi now when we talk about relationship with franchisee ni, now kita move to another, that was a very interesting point. Saya rasa untuk yang bawah 3 tahun ni, bukan setakat bawah 3 tahun, tetapi juga franchisor yang dah lama, mesti ada cabaran juga berkaitan dengan franchisor-franchisee relationship. So we move to the next issue. Dan kebetulan ada soalan berkaitan dengan pandemik ya. Bagaimana franchisor membantu memberikan sedikit bantuan ya kepada franchisee. So saya akan mulakan dengan Puan Kutrin. Yang pertama sekali boleh kongsikan ya dengan pendengar kita, apakah ciri-ciri franchisee yang sesuai ya mengikut pengalaman ya. Satu, ciri-ciri franchisee yang sesuai. Kedua, as we are talking about franchisor-franchisee relationship, boleh Puan Kutrin ceritakan sedikitlah macam mana franchisor membantu franchisee dalam keadaan pandemik. Puan.
Okay, soalan mencabar tu.
Ramai nak tahu the kind of help. Yeah.
Okay. Tentang pemilihan first tentang pemilihan, of course tak perlulah menjadi guru. Instead sebagai franchisee tak perlulah kita cari guru sebagai franchisee, cukup sekadar dia berminat dalam pendidikan anak-anak, and then dia suka dia punya satisfaction business dia not only about money but also on helping the students. So dia kena itulah, and then dia mesti ada excellent work ethic dan juga strong desire to succeed. And one quite important point lah bagi saya lah, I'm not sure about other franchisors, tapi bagi saya tak nak yang too ambitious. Because you cannot be a billionaire or a millionaire, even a millionaire by owning education center. So kalau you
ada reality check lah.
Kalau nak cakap nak kaya tu memang it's not in the education business. Tapi kalau you want to do a good living and you are satisfied with helping others, helping students, then is good for you. So cuma dalam business franchise, I think sebagai franchisor, saya nak franchisee saya yang memahami bagaimana franchise system tu. Jadi dia kena faham and dia kena tahu bahawa dia perlu mengikuti the proven system yang franchisor buat. Dia ada rules and regulation yang dia compliance, and then one important thing is that dia kena tahu kata dia kena bayar royalty. So kalau ada yang tak bersedia nak bayar ongoing royalty, jadi itu mungkin menimbulkan masalah kelak. So dia kena faham atas apa yang dia bayar royalty tu. So by using the name and then by using not only the supports, but only by using the name itself, you are given the royalty. Sebab franchisor like us, like CIC lah, kita tak bagi franchise kepada orang kerana kita nak untung from the royalty. Kita bukan aim for keuntungan ataupun profit daripada royalty, tapi kita grant the right of the franchise to our franchisee because we want to share the responsibility, or we want to we expect them to be able to manage the business better than the staff. So because kita percaya, like I said in the beginning tadi, kita rely too much on the people, on the service, and our challenge is to maintain the quality service at all times. So kita percaya bahawa franchisee akan boleh lakukan dengan lebih baik daripada staff. Tetapi kalau franchisee tu tak nak manage business dia, tak nak handle, tak nak tahu masalah customers, tak nak ambil tahu, just nak collect profit, so dia maybe bukan seorang yang layak for this business. I mean for this opportunity lah. Sebab nak dia manage the students.
So kalau ikut CIC pengalaman semasa COVID, what kind of helps? Ada some kind of relax ke dari segi royalty? Saya tengok soalan tu tadi. Of course kalau kita nak expect wave of royalty ke apa, it depends on the franchisor lah, how strong is the franchisor to give the discount or the wave kan. Tapi kalau macam franchisee, kita memang bagi discount on the royalty, kita tak boleh wave. Sebab it depends on the strength lah. Kalau I believe sebab dia mention one brand yang F&B kan, F&B katanya bagi wave of royalty, probably F&B dia orang boleh bagi sebab dia franchisor also supply the supplies, the material. So jadi dia franchisor akan dapat from certain profit from that supplies also, which make the which sustain the franchisor. So kalau franchisor sendiri atau as the parent tu tak boleh nak sustain, so how can we expect that we can help the children kan? So jadi franchisor tu sendiri kena boleh sustain dan boleh strong, barulah dia boleh nak bagi diskaun ke, nak support ke dan sebagainya. So franchisor itself dalam masa pandemik ni, franchisor sendiri kena ada reserve yang kuat, kena boleh bertahan, barulah boleh bagi semua all those benefit pada franchisee. Tapi of course like what we did, kita bagi discount in royalty, kita support franchisee kita by helping them on floating their account, whatever that we can help, we would help. But not necessarily on the financial aspect, tetapi juga bantuan dari segi macam system, and then quickly change the syllabus and things like that kan?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you Puan Kutrin. So now go back to Dr. Elise. Dr. Elsie. Okay, kalau ikut pengalaman Cambridge English for Life, bagaimana dengan ciri-ciri franchisee yang sesuai, dan juga pada pengalaman COVID-19, what kind of sort of helps given to the franchisee?
Okay, tapi sebelum itu boleh saya go back to one question which Cik Derek yang answer tadi berkenaan dengan yang hendak mendirikan brand sendiri ataupun mengikut franchise?
Traditional, conventional or franchise? Yeah.
Okay, atau you see, kita ni bukan wake up one day and we become 20-year-old franchise, 25-year-old and 35-year-old franchise. Kita juga melalui perjalanan itu when we were only 3 years in the market, 5 years.
Growing pains. Yeah.
Yes. So, but I want to share sebab saya bergelar orang yang berjiwa guru ni, saya want to share. What's the dream? If that is your dream, then you cannot stop pursuing your dream. But you cannot give up. Don't you dare give up halfway. Itu yang penting. You have to chip at it. Dato' Sri, Kutren, and we have had our blood, our tears. We also had our joy. We bask in the joy of our franchisee success, of our student success. But before you want to talk about, I'm going to develop a brand. Yes, ask yourself, where do you see your brand in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What are you going to do about your brand? Do you know what it takes to build that brand? Okay, and if your partners, your business partners leave halfway, are you still going to pursue your brand? Then we talk about the dream. Okay, CFL had like 5 different sets of directors, but I have never given. I'm still there. You see, because that is what building a dream is all about, building your brand. You want everybody to use your brand. You want your brand to be out there. But as Kutren says, you don't hope to buy your BMW or your 7 Series in the next 5 years or because someone is using your brand. No, that doesn't happen in the education industry. The satisfaction is immeasurable, not in financial terms. Okay. Now, untuk ciri-ciri
franchisee, are they having the same aspiration like you?
It is up to the franchisor to also motivate. But franchisees must understand you cannot use my brand and hope that when you open your doors, there will be a queue, If, I remember there was a certain drink with some pearls in it. Oh, I can see a queue from the shop all the way to outside the shop, So, but what happened to the brand now? What happened to that queue now? The quicker it boils, the faster it cools down. Education is very organic. Okay, you need your passion, you need your commitment, you need the love, and you need sacrifice. You cannot hope to hold one brand and then open your doors. Yeah, there's a queue and I can order my Mercedes. It does not work that way. And then what are you doing about yourself dari segi untuk menaikkan, your own pengalaman, your own experience, your own learning. Dan dalam pada itu, you must also open your eyes. Are you in the right area? Kadang-kadang franchisees can help you. Okay, this one looks good. But again, there are so many mitigating factors. Tiba-tiba that area is not suitable. For example, you pergilah Subang Jaya SS15. Bukan main ong that place, Chinese will tell you, very ong, banyak business. But if you are running education, kalau orang tak boleh park kereta, tak boleh turun and masuk your center to make enquiries, apa you buka sana? The ong is not for you, it's for the banks maybe, because they have no choice. Right? Okay. Then again, untuk franchisor yang boleh membantu franchisee, like Kutren, Kutren, I concur with you 100%. Franchisees, if from the start you sudah lewat in paying your royalty, or you try to use another company to recruit the students so that you evade paying royalty, then at the end you want help. Do you think it is fair? That is one. And untuk membantu franchisee dari segi CEFL, where we can, we do. Kita adakan franchisee stimulus package. But, I don't have a bottomless pocket. See, I have staff saya sendiri, and sometimes we do take pay cuts so that we can share whatever we have with everyone, dan supaya semua masih boleh ada kerja. Kalau tidak, there are some people who need to kena buang kerja lah, right? So a lot of this bukan sahaja tertakluk pada franchisor. Memang the pandemic sudah menggusar banyak usahawan. Okay. Tetapi like I said, franchise ialah satu perniagaan yang kolaboratif dan supportive. Okay. And based on case to case, kalau you bawa bincang dengan your franchisor, I think the word is bawa bincang, boleh dibincang. Yeah, maybe we float, we extend your repayment, but at the same time, don't forget yang kita ambil supply daripada our pembekal, we also have to pay them kan. Okay, so biasanya if let's say you belilah your teaching aids from us, your bahan pembelajaran, yeah. Now before I can extend any flexibility to you, I have to work with my publisher and say, hey, can I extend a little? Can you extend me a little bit? An easy payment plan. Can you cut me some slack? If you do, then I transfer that to the franchisees. So together kita akan menangani the pandemic. Okay?
So
and
not
necessary. And franchise is always relevant. The business, any business will always be relevant, but you must not give up.
So not necessarily franchisee ni have to join as a franchisee for Franchise English for Life. Perlu very well versed dalam English, ya? They must.
If ada dua aspek di sini. Of course, if you are not well versed, then we want to know who is the person yang akan kamu appoint untuk menjalankan business to operate. Okay, if your English is not good, then you tell me who is the person who will be representing you. Business side is lain. The operational side is lain. Yes. Okay. And because if you and what's important is I nak orang yang respect education. Kalau you someone who tells me education not important, I do all kinds of business, I make a lot of money, but you are telling me I cannot even drive a BMW. Yes, education is organic. And if you want to, drive a BMW the next day or something else, maybe not. You want to revisit your plans, the education you want to do.
Dr. Elsie, we have one question here. Is there any disadvantage of franchise model in general? So we've talked about advantage, system, branding, yeah? So what do you think of that? Is there any disadvantage?
Let's talk about the advantages first. The disadvantage are always thought of after people feel disgruntled and they don't fully understand the business. Okay. So advantages, you have the backing of a brand, an established brand. Yeah, like I said, it's not any chalang brand, tomorrow ABC, the next day DEF. No. Okay, it is tried and tested, and parents recognize, children recognize. Okay, so now you have the support of a group, you have the support of an association. Okay, and with franchise, if your franchisor is not fair to you, because there's a Franchise Act, you are governed by the Franchise Act. We take our guidance from the Franchise Act. Kutren, Datuk Sri, Derek here, we have to learn the Franchise Act betul-betul, You never pass to my PA, you read and tell me, no, it doesn't work that way. We know the Franchise Act very well, okay? So with that, we know what are our weaknesses, what are our obligations towards the franchisees, and then what are the obligations of the franchisees. The franchisees come into the market with their eyes open. There is even a cooling off period, that they can actually pull out and then we also allow franchisees to stick out in the centers to say, is this the kind of business that you're looking for? It's not the money that is important. The money is nothing because it is something for 5 years. And in 5 years only, you tell me I earn that kind of money better, I do something else, Like Kutren will agree with that, right?
Very, very, very good insight. Thank you, Dr. Elsie. We go back to Datuk Sri. Datuk Sri?
Yes.
We have one question here. Hang on, let me check. During pandemic, how do we choose actually, going for franchisor yang very well known in terms of the branding, or going for the cost, because customer nowadays, they go for fees, lower fee. What do you think about that?
Well, of course, branding doesn't mean that it's the best, Branding, famous brands often, I mean, they have some sort of quality behind what they do, perhaps the design or whatever. But at the end of the day, it is not just branding alone. It's what contents, what do you get out of it at the end of the day, right? And if we look at it again, pricing, not all pricing actually means it's better quality or lower quality in the sense, It all depends on what you offer, right? Now, today we can see a 2 ringgit nasi lemak tastes better than the 15 ringgit nasi lemak, So it's all about what's behind it, what's the quality, what is the outcome you get from there, So you can say that, because that school charged cheaper, hence I go to the school, but that doesn't end up with you getting the result that you want, the quality that you want, the service that you want, perhaps even the safety. Because when we talk of providing a good education center for kids, we have to look into all these things. Safety comes in. Safety in terms of perhaps maybe a fire or whatever, or even people breaking into the center and all that. There are experiences like this happening actually. And then the quality of the center, what do we offer, right? So all these things adds in. Now, I would say that when a person chooses, they should look at every angle. What are you looking for? What is your objective? And when you visit the place, are they offering what they are telling you? Are they doing? The quality that they boast so much about, are they actually of the same quality that they mentioned in whatever brochures or flyers that hand out to you? Do they actually operate it as what they have told you? So there are many angles here, and I would say like earlier Puan is quoting what Puan said earlier on. Every center there's some degree of difference because we are all humans, right? Right? Yeah. If I replicate myself in every center, I will get the same quality, exactly the same thing. We are not food, Even food also, you have some differences sometimes because it depends on the person who add in the ingredients. So the teachers are again very important. While we are very careful in choosing teachers that are that love kids, teachers that are patient, teachers who have a good responsibility, teachers that have a good attitude, but there was still some angle that perhaps might go missing somewhere, See, people like with emotions, maybe, while walking to the school, the teacher might have maybe dropped her wallet or whatever, and she's very anxious about her cards, her ICs and everything. So she's not focused in school that day at all. So if such a day happened, what will happen? What if something will happen? What will parents say? They point to it that the teacher is not good. It's not actually. We have to understand the situation behind it. Everybody has their own blue day. A day that things might happen.
So you are saying that
generally picking a school is very important. Go and see yourself. Believing yourself, that you felt you're confident. What they say is what they offer is what they say, not offering something but saying something else. You get a full thing out of it, a full meal, put it this way. Again, coming to it, when we compare 2 ringgit and the 10 ringgit nasi lemak, the 2 ringgit comes with perhaps only sambal, nothing else. Maybe 2 pieces of cucumber. Whereas the one comes with 10 ringgit comes with a piece of chicken, right? But the way it's cooked, it doesn't taste as good as the one just with the sambal, right? So look at all the aspects.
So Dato', so you're saying that we should not be solely looking at the fees. We should not be solely looking at the branding. There are many factors that we have to look at, and most importantly, the market segmentation, what we look for, yeah, things like that. Okay. And my last question for you, what about franchise micro? Do you offer franchise micro for smart reader?
Well, micro franchising is a little bit difficult in terms of education, right? It's not like F&B thing, you know, you can sell your burger anywhere. You come for set up a class somewhere. I mean, there's a home tutor. It's not a school anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do explore. We also explore. I mean, if we look at it, yes, we are offering our quality education, but only the children in the urban areas are enjoying it. Because in rural areas, they can't afford to set up a school, they can't afford to pay the fees, their earnings are much lower than people in the city. So we are studying into that aspect also.
Still studying, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't be, I mean, to me, I've always emphasized, you know, in education, you need to strike a balance. Well, you need profit to survive. You need funding to go on. But on the other hand, your responsibility is to the rakyat, to the people. We have to give them what we promised education. We can't be saying that we take the money and forget about the rest, you know. But we have to strike a balance here. So,
Yeah.
in a way, I think it's important that, you know, we want also the kids in the rural areas, you know, they are getting some form of quality education. It might not be as per se in the city. I mean, just like micro franchising. Yeah. In a restaurant, it's grand and everything, but in a mall, that thing is a push cart or whatever, just walk by and pick up something to eat. That's all you want, right? So in the same way, if we can explore, you know, and we would be doing a big help, a big CSR program here. You know? So we need to strike a balance here.
Yeah, thank you, Dato. Thank you. Okay, so we are quite running out of time. My last question to Puan Kutrin.
Okay.
What about for CIC in terms of micro franchising, and as well as what changes have you made? What you want to tell to our audience out there?
Okay, tentang franchise micro, kita cuba adjust, of course, memandangkan kita cuba memberi yang terbaik dan juga cuba memberi peluang perniagaan kepada golongan B40 dan M40. So saya cuba reduce kita punya cost, especially on the setup of the center. Kita boleh buat center yang lebih kecil dengan minimum renovation. So and then tapi kita target bandar-bandar kecil saja. Bandar-bandar kecil saja, tapi after all bila kita buat bisnes, macam saya kata tadi, kita kena question diri kita, ada tak customers? So customers dekat bandar-bandar kecil tu, adakah mereka bersedia untuk menerima kita punya produk ataupun kita punya package of education? And it comes back to the fees, whether they want afford ke tak untuk bayar fees kita kan, macam tu. Jadi yang tu kena ni lah. So bagi package micro yang kita offer, kalau biasanya di bandar-bandar besar ni, kita untuk membuka CIC kita perlukan dalam 200,000 hingga ada yang besar sampai 700,000. Tetapi yang franchise micro ni kita minimizekan bawah 100,000, ada yang kita boleh minimize sampai 75,000. Dia bergantung kepada premis lah. So kalau modal kecil, kita buat premis tu lebih kecil. Macam tu. So memang ada kita wujudkan peluang tu. Cuma kepada bakal franchisee di luar sana, mereka boleh hubungi CIC where leaders are born untuk dapat tahu tentang package ni. Bagi bapa pula, berkenaan dengan soalan Prof kepada Datuk Sri tadi, tentang harga, berkenaan harga pilihan parents memilih harga yang murah atau yang branding. Bagi saya setuju sangat dengan Datuk Sri. Yang penting adalah value. So jangan kita, cuma saya nak tambah, jangan kita gemar yang murah, tetapi at the end of the day, apa yang diberi adalah zero ataupun apa yang diberi value yang ada adalah kosong. Berbanding dengan kita nilai tengok mungkin sedikit mahal tetapi value yang dapat itu jauh lebih besar berbanding yang murah tetapi zero ataupun malah kadang-kadang negatif lagi. Kan mungkin negatif.
Masih duit.
Ya, negatif. Kenapa saya kata negatif? Sebab masa kanak-kanak ini tidak akan kembali. So kalau kita masa umur kata 4 sampai 6 tahun tu kita hantar ke tempat yang memberi value yang negatif ataupun memberi value yang kurang daripada apa yang sepatutnya kanak-kanak tu dapat, maka rugilah masa kanak-kanak tu. Jadi dan kita akan lihat potensinya akan hilang. Jadi rugi. Jadi kos kita sebenarnya lebih tinggi kalau kita gemar yang murah lah. Tetapi tidak menafikan bahawa tak semestinya yang mahal itu baik.
Very good insight. Thank you, Putri.
Okay.
And last from Dr. Elsie. Dr. Elsie.
Yes, untuk micro franchise ya.
Sedikit pandangan sedikit.
Yes. CFL secara formal tidak ada franchise micro, but our product memang sesuai boleh dijalankan secara micro. Tapi compared to muda milik yang existing franchise tu, of course adalah needs yang ataupun condition yang berbeza. Sebab kalau memandangkan situasi sekarang yang lebih menuju terhadap gig economy. So untuk for a start kalaulah adakan B40 ke M40 yang nak B40 dengan M40 dan yang nak start satu franchise. Kalau di luar bandar and we only allow for luar bandar, mereka boleh start dengan produk which is a lighter version of apa yang kita ada. Okay, it cannot be the same as the city punya. Okay, and then in terms of tempat untuk menjalankan kelas, we give a short time, satu tempoh, maybe dalam 2 tahun, so that they can sewa bilik darjah di sekolah untuk menjalankan pengajaran. Tetapi ada tempoh yang tertentu. Dan produk yang dijalankan itu adalah sesuatu yang lebih light daripada apa yang dijalankan di kelas sebagai like 2 jam,
Ada perbezaan.
Bandar berkemungkinan besar tidak mampu membeli bahan pengajaran ya di city, and also ini hanya untuk I would say short term ya, sebab belajar tu kalau abang sudah belajar, adik nak ikut juga. Yeah. So then kurang sesuai kalau sentiasa menyewa bilik darjah, sebab pendidikan harus memenuhi kriteria atau garis panduan yang telah disetkan oleh MOE. So kita bukan sahaja ya terhadap KPDN. Yes. Yeah. So we kena follow kriteria yang telah ditetapkan oleh MOE supaya boleh jadi satu pusat bahasa. Kalau tidak cuma menjadi satu servis sahaja, bukan pusat bahasa.
Yes. Thank you Dr. Elsie. So ini saja masa yang kita ada untuk sesi webinar kita pada hari ini. So daripada apa yang telah dikongsikan, so saya nampak sektor early childhood education ini kita harus mempunyai very very strong filosofi, dan daripada yang telah dikongsikan dari semua speakers ni, spirit to educate tu profound, sangat sangat tinggi lah ya. Jadi on behalf of Malaysian Franchise Association dan juga KPDN HEP, saya ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada speaker panel-panel jemputan kita pada hari ini. Derek Yeo yang berbagi, Datuk Seri Dr. Richard Ong, Puan Hajah Putri Nada dan juga Dr. Elsie Chin ya. Very good sharing. Kalau ada apa-apa boleh kontak terus ya kepada panel speaker kita pada hari ini, dan itu saja masa yang kita ada. So
terima kasih kerana menjemput.
Kita akhirilah kita punya webinar hari ini hingga kita bertemu lagi. Terima kasih.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Terima kasih.